Hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, let's talk about the Canyon Endurace CF SL7 eTap for the 2022 season. As you see, it's a bit of a mouthful of bike names, but make no mistake, this is going to be a very interesting bike from Canyon. So let's first answer the question, who is this bike for? So you see, Canyon Endurace platform is all about endurance road bike, so a bit more, relaxed geometry, and if you are spending long days in the saddle, then definitely you should consider this Endurace range of the bikes. Of course, for the 2022 season, they have incorporated a bit of, aerodynamically optimized frame and the fork, but make no mistake, this is not the point of this bike. The point is comfortable ride and long days in the saddle. Currently, the retail price of this bike is 3,350 British pounds, or approximately 3,500 euros. So definitely, not a cheap bike, but we will dive into the specifications and I will explain to you and give my recommendation, should you buy this bike immediately or should you just consider it. So, not a cheap bike as it is, 3,350 British pounds. When it comes to paint schemes, luckily, Canyon is offering two paint schemes, and both of them are beautiful. So the first one is this stealth gray, absolutely classic gray metallic paint scheme. But my favorite one would be this one, which they call frozen yellow. So this frozen yellow, or sometimes I hear they call it like a banana yellow, it's absolutely stunning paint scheme. And I think Canyon has really done a good job with this frozen yellow paint scheme. I'm guessing this is going to be the most popular paint scheme, so get yours as soon as you can. So now we can dive into the specifications of this bike and we can really see what do you get for your hard-earned money. So first thing first, let's talk about the frame and the fork on this bike. So you see the frame is a carbon fiber frame CF SL level from Canyon. So this is their mid-level of carbon fiber frames. Of course, it comes with internal cable routing, flat mount disc brake, and in this case it's going to be the Sram dub press fit bottom bracket. 12mm through axles, both front and the back. When we speak about the fork, carbon fiber fork CF level from Canyon, again 12mm through axle and also flat mount disc brakes. Keep in mind that carbon fiber frames and forks from Canyon come with 6 years guarantee, which is decent. It's kind of, average in bike industry. I wish that Canyon at some point would move to the lifetime warranty. So, do I have any special complaints about frame and the fork? Absolutely not. It's gonna, work perfectly fine. Let's talk about the drivetrain of this bike, because this is definitely one of the secret sauces of this bike. So the drivetrain is from Sram. So we are talking about the Sram wireless group set. So this is a Sram eTap Access wireless group set. So everything from the rear mech, front mech, and the shifters, everything communicates wirelessly. So, absolutely no cables on the bike, very clean design. And this Sram Rival eTap is a very good wireless group set. So you have a battery which powers the whole system, and generally there is no big problems with, this wireless group set. So it's a very nice entrance to the market from Sram, where they kind of went with a little bit cheaper group set, Sram Rival, just to kind of capture most of the market with their wireless group set. Cassette on this bike is the Sram's Rival XG1250 cassette. This cassette has a huge range, 10 to 36, but another interesting thing is that it's definitely a beautiful piece of design, as you can see. And also, just keep in mind, in the future, when you need to replace this cassette, it's a pretty pricey item to replace. So its retail price is approximately 132 euros to replace. So just keep that in mind when, again, you need to replace this Sram Rival XG1250 cassette. 1036 range, as I said, and this is paired with the crankset, which is a Sram Rival crankset. So this crankset is 4835 chain rings, but the secret sauce here is that the crankset comes with a power meter. So one-sided power meter. Power meter is from Quark, and some of the highlights, would include that you have 400 hours of battery life. It's a simple AAA battery, so no problems here. And this crankset, as I said, is with the Sram dub press fit bottom bracket. Retail price of this crankset on the open market would be 380 euros, so you see it's a pretty pricey system. But just to keep in mind here, a Sram Dub press fit bottom bracket system, I've heard some, stories that it's not so good as the Shimano's press fit bottom bracket, but it is what it is, because of course Sram with their rival crankset will always push forward with their press fit dub standard. So just keep that in mind. I also forgot to mention that of course this power meter is waterproof, and as I said, very simple batteries, AAA batteries, so easy to replace. Chain is the SRAM's 12-speed chain, SRAM Rivera 12-speed chain, because the whole group set is a 12-speed wireless group set. So I would advise you in the future that when you destroy this chain, keep with the SRAM chains, whatever chain you want to buy from SRAM, doesn't matter as long as it's 12-speed compatible, just because it's going to be much better compatible with the cassette and the crank. So all in all, when it comes to the group set, as I said, definitely a secret sauce of this bike and an excellent SRAM rival wireless access group set. Now let's talk about the braking system on the bike. So here we have hydraulic disc brakes from SRAM. These are their SRAM rival hydraulic disc brakes, front and the back, with SRAM Paceline rotors. So these braking rotors should be 160 millimeters front and back. And SRAM Paceline rotors, pretty decent rotors. I'm expecting, a good heat dissipation. And even in the future, when you destroy these rotors, of course, you can upgrade to a higher level of SRAM braking rotors. But if you keep it with the Paceline rotors, it should be perfectly fine. When we talk about the wheel set on this bike, this is a DT Swiss Endurance LN wheel set. So when you look at the DT Swiss website, they don't sell these wheel sets directly to consumers, so I'm guessing this is some kind of OEM collaboration between DT Swiss and Canyon. But keep in mind the following. So there's not much data about this wheel set out there, so I'm expecting it to be approximately 1,800, 1,900 grams. It is a classical aluminum wheel set. Probably the rim height is something like 30 millimeters. In a rim width, I would expect about 20 to 22 millimeters, and probably this comes with the DT Swiss 350 hubs. So this is worth checking with Canyon to give you a bit more technical information about this wheel set. Again, I'm a huge fan of DT Swiss, and their aluminum wheel sets are excellent, so I'm expecting this wheel set also to be excellent. Of course, this is 12mm through axles front and the back, and the center lock disc brakes. Tires on this bike are excellent Continental GP 5000S tubeless tire, and this is a 30mm tire, so absolutely great, a lot of air volume, really smooth ride, and this is what you want on this endurance road bike. In the future, I would definitely keep a 30mm tire from whatever manufacturer you want. Of course, if you can get your hands again on this Continental GP 5000 tires, absolutely great. Now let's talk about the cockpit. So the cockpit is the Canyon's H31 carbon fiber cockpit. So this is a one-piece affair, handlebar and the stem, and I'm not a big fan of it, you know it, because I have no clue why Canyon would do a one-piece handlebar stem on this endurance road bike. The better option would be to separate the handlebar and the stem, and yes, they can do a carbon fiber pieces, because when you have a one-piece handlebar and the stem, it's a proprietary piece, so in the future, if you want to replace it, you got a problem, you gotta buy directly from Canyon. Also, if you want to adjust your position on the bike, it's a pain, because there's no adjustment basically, so that's a big problem with this one-piece handlebars and the stem. So this is kind of a big disappointment in my opinion. Canyon should have offered a classical handlebar stem. It could have even been an aluminum piece, nobody would ever complain, but just because of this compatibility and adjustment, I think this is a bit of a waste opportunity here. Let's talk about the saddle and the seat post. So saddle, superb Physic Tempo Argo R3, no complaints here from me. If you don't like it, easy to replace. And when we come to the seat post, again, superb Canyon's S15 carbon fiber VCLS seat post, superb stuff. A lot of absorption of the road bumps and a nice movement of the carbon fiber seat post. So top notch here, no complaints. I forgot to mention that the total bike weight will be approximately 8.5 kilograms in size medium, but I would expect it, majority of the sizes are going to go towards large size, so easily expected about 8.7 kilograms. So you see, this is not a light bike, endurance bike, and of course, majority of this weight comes from the SRAM's rival wireless group set because it is a bit on the heavy side. I think the total group set weight could be something about 3 kilograms for this Sram rival. Somebody can correct me in the comments below. So in summary, what is my recommendation for you? Should you just go ahead and buy this bike, or should you just consider this bike? I think that you should just consider this bike. So it is a retail price of 3,350 British pounds, or approximately 3,500 euros. So it's a pricey bike, and definitely, if you want a wireless group set from SRAM, this is your option from Canyon. And the negative thing here that I'm seeing on this bike is this one-piece carbon fiber stem and handlebar. I wish Canyon has stuck their guns with, classical handlebar and the stem. Even if it's aluminium, I would appreciate it even more than this one-piece affair. So my advice to you is just consider this bike if you are in the market for an endurance road bike. So I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, please keep on watching. Give me a like for this video, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!